you're welcome to Science Spectrum with Dawn. Welcome to Chemistry 189, the fundamentals. Now this is the third part of the first lecture. Now in the previous lecture, I talked about the two ways we gain scientific knowledge. One is by serendipity, the trial and the error method. And of course, we saw few discoveries, through serendipity. And of course, I also talked about the scientific method. Okay, it starts off from observation, back to observation. And of course, observation back to, another observation, because we always want to test, for everything we've observed. Either by explaining it, or by making a model, that explains that. All right, and I also defined what chemistry is to us. That's a fundamental branch of knowledge. For one, it's, intertwined with all of the pure science, and it seeks to understand, the behavior of matter by studying the properties of atoms, molecules, and ions that constitute that matter. All right, what do chemists do? That's the next question I may want to ask. What do chemists do? 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 All right, chemists, they do three things. The first is they explain natural phenomenon. They explain natural phenomenon. So, take for example, you may have, asked a few questions. For instance, why is carbon monoxide poisonous? Why is sugar sweet? Why is the tulip flower red? All of these answers, the chemists would explain that. Some are already been explained, why some are yet to be explained. The second thing a chemist does is they carry out experiments. They carry out experiments that reveals the composition. That reveals the composition. That's what matter is made of. The building blocks of matter. That reveals the composition and structure. The composition. This is the heart of chemistry. That reveals the composition and structure of complex substances. Tell me the behavior of matter, right? I would explain that to you by the properties of the entities that constitute that matter. So think of any product, anything, right, you call matter. Their behavior is uniquely determined by the properties of their atoms. All right, and lastly, what do chemists do? They explain natural phenomena to us. They carry out experiments that reveal what matter is composed of, its structure, and of complex substances. And lastly, what chemists do is, based on the fact that they study the composition and structure of complex substances, they could alter those, that's the arrangement of matter. They could alter that, and once they do that, they produce or they synthesize new products. So they synthesize, okay, it's a little bit free. They synthesize or manufacture, new products. These are the three things, or the three primary assignments, of a chemist. So this is the heart of chemistry, knowing what matter is composed of, and of course the structure, of the components of matter. All right, now chemistry has branches. So I'll talk briefly about the branches of chemistry. The branches of chemistry. All right, basically there are two branches of chemistry. One is organic chemistry, and that's the chemistry, of living organisms. So this is organic chemistry. That's the first one. Organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. Organic chemistry. It's simply the chemistry, It's the chemistry of living organisms. Living organisms. So when we are interested in knowing the chemistry of compounds, okay, in living organisms, we call that organic chemistry. And majorly, you find out that the chemistry of the compounds in living organisms is carbon. Now we also have inorganic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry. By the way, living organisms, could be plants and animals. Plants and animals. So you find lots of carbon here, mainly, and that constitutes the word organic chemistry. So we have inorganic chemistry. Inorganic chemistry. This is simply the chemistry of compounds that are being manufactured in the laboratory. So this is the chemistry of compounds. Chemistry of compounds that are synthesized or manufactured, or manufactured in the laboratory. And of course you find carbon there, but when you compare the proportion, of carbon in inorganic compounds, you find that it's way more in organic compounds. All right, chemistry has specialized fields, or we call that auxiliary fields of chemistry. So there are auxiliary fields in chemistry. So let's talk about that in a moment. You need to bring this for a while. Okay. All right. While I'm playing this up. All right. Okay, let's move on. Now we'll talk about specialized or auxiliary fields. Auxiliary fields in chemistry. Now, I may need to, review this once again, that all pure science subjects, they are intertwined. They are interrelated. All right, think about this. Life itself is essentially a complicated system of interrelated chemical processes, right? So it binds everything together. Now, the first specialized field is physical chemistry. Physical chemistry. So you see the flavor of physics in chemistry. We have nuclear chemistry. There is nuclear chemistry, right? Nuclear chemistry. We have electrochemistry. We have electrochemistry. Physical chemistry, nuclear chemistry, electrochemistry, and I may need to add this, okay? You also hear of a smell of, biology and chemistry. That's biochemistry. There is geochemistry, right? And of course, the list could just go on and on like that. These are specialized or auxiliary fields in chemistry. Why? It is based on the fact that all pure science subjects are intertwined or interrelated. All right, there are other fields or professions, I use the word profession specifically, that utilize the knowledge of chemistry. So let's, talk briefly about those fields that utilize the knowledge of chemistry. So one of such fields is pharmacy. Pharmacists, they utilize the knowledge of chemistry. Okay, I'm going to use the profession now. Pharmacists utilize the knowledge of chemistry extensively. Nutritionists, the nutritionists also do the same. Nutritionists, okay? The dietitians, and the likes do the same. Attorneys, it may interest you to know that attorneys, okay, also utilize the knowledge of chemistry. medical practitioners, or I'm use the word health practitioners, health practitioners, health practitioners, health practitioners, health practitioners also utilize the knowledge of chemistry. So these are professions. I'm going to use the word some professions that utilizes the knowledge of chemistry. So the pharmacy that makes drug for you, right? Without a rich and a varied experience in chemistry, they wouldn't be able to make those drugs. The same goes with nutritionists, attorneys, and of course health practitioners. All right. Now let's talk about the major goal of chemistry. Chemistry has basically two goals. So every knowledge that is being gained in chemistry has basically two goals. So the goals of chemistry, goals or aims of chemistry. Or let me use the word of chemical knowledge. Or let me use the word chemistry, it's fine. Of chemistry. Alright. The first is simply to advance the frontiers of knowledge. Okay? So to advance the frontiers of knowledge, okay, in science and technology. You hear of surgeries that are being carried out through optical fibers, right? Take for instance an endoscopy. These are advances, chemistry has made in the world of medicine. There are times drugs, could be administered to patients, just by sending radiations to the body. These are, advancements in the frontiers of knowledge. You must have heard of a storage device that is capable of storing information for hundreds of thousands of years, right? Unlike, the other ones we are actually being used to. And that device is just a material that's made up of quartz, that's of glass. Through laser lights, lots of information is stored in that quartz crystal. And of course, these are what chemistry, has come to do. Then, the second goal of or aim of chemistry is simply to improve human lives. You just, to improve for the improvement of human lives. Okay, you hear of drugs that better human lives. You hear of fertilizers, new innovations and the likes. This makes our lives better off. All right, for the sake of time, I may need to wrap it up here. If you're new to the channel, you may want to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Thank you.